Good afternoon, all. Today we are going to discuss the linear combination and linear span. And if time permits, we'll discuss some theorems. So let me share the entire screen. Okay. So linear combinations and the span of set of vectors. It is also called as linear span. This V is any vector space over PDF, and V bar is any vector. This is any vector in V. If it is written as the combination of some vectors v1, v2, vr, or it is said to be a linear combination of some vectors v1, v2, vr, if there exist scalars k1, k2, kr such that this holds. That is, V is combination of v1, v2, vr with r scalars. There must exist scalars. The scalars are called coefficients in the linear combinations. That you should mind. So, like in example, suppose V is a two-dimensional set, which is vector space, and I write this vector 1, 2. This vector 1, 2 is any vector in V, and you have two vectors. I'll take standard vector 1, comma 0, and another vector 0, comma 1. So what it implies, 1, comma 2 can be written as 1 scalar multiplied to 1, 0 plus 2 scalar multiplied to 0, 1. Calculations you can see. So this is E1 plus 2E2. So V is written as the linear combination of E1 and V2. This particular vector V. That is the meaning of that. We have to think whether it is written as linear combination of lots of matrix algebras involved there. You might have studied in your BSc first class regarding the solution of homogeneous as well as non-homogeneous systems to find such type of coefficients. So K1, K2, Kr will be calculated by using system solving the linear of systems. If system is consistent, then we are able to find K1, K2, Kr. If system is inconsistent, then we can't find K1, K2, Kr satisfying this. Means it is not a linear combination of V1, V2, Vr. So this is about linear combination. Any vector can be said as a linear combination of that V1, V2, Vr vector. So this definition might be clear to everyone what you mean by linear combination. And then what is the meaning of a linear span? This is the definition of linear combinations. We have discussed definition of linear combinations. Now, what do you mean by linear combinations of vectors? So suppose S is any set, any subset of V, V1 bar, V2 bar, and VR bar, any subset of V. Then some may think about what is the linear combination of all these vectors. What should be linear combination? Likewise, in the previous example, so alpha into 1, comma 0 plus beta into 0, comma 1, such that alpha can be any real number, beta can be any real number. So one can think, who is this set? So if you carefully observe, it is R2. Means R2 is a linear span of these two vectors. R2 can be written, every vector in R2 is written as linear combination of these two vectors. How? Obviously, the vectors of this form is a subset of R2 because you are taking the combination of vectors from R2 with the scalars. And as scalar multiplication and vector addition is closed in the vector space, so this has to be subset of R2. Now, how R2 is subset of this? We can see how the R2 is subset of this. So one can think for any for any vector in R2, you have to write the linear combination of that. For any vector in R2, one can write this xy as x into e1. E1 means 1 comma 0 and y into e2. So this 0 1 1 0 are the standard vectors. That notation will come in the basis of vector space. So it is x e1 plus y e2. So this xy is anything any in R2. This xy is any vector in R2 written means for every vector in R2 is linear combination of e1 and e2. Every vector, there is no single vector in R2 which is not written as linear combination of these two. That means the L of, I say L of yes. What is yes? Your yes is e1 e2 in this case. L of yes is R2 like that. So linear span of set yes means the set of all linear combination of this. That is for all choices of all, you should take all the scalars. All the scalars you should take. Then this W set is called span of set yes. One may written as W equal to L of yes, or one may written like this, span of yes. Span of yes as W. So span yes means it is all the linear combination of vectors in yes. All is important. Huh? All the linear combination of vectors in yes. So we'll before moving the theorem, we'll see the important example how one should discuss. Now in the earlier example, we have seen that how E1, E2 spans every vectors, how E1, E2 spans R2. This example we have discussed in the last lecture. This is the linear combination of V1, V2. This can be written as linear combination of V1 as well as V2. But this is not a linear combination of V1, V2. So what it means, I'll just explain in short time that the first A part, you want to write this vector as a linear combination of V1 and V2. So try to find this alpha and beta. If you are able to find this alpha and beta, then one can easily say that this is a linear combination of this. And here simultaneous system of equations is involved. You have to just, when we know when two vectors are equal, the first coefficient of this must be equal to first coefficient of this side, like that. You will get three equations and solve any two equations and verify that it must satisfy third equations. If it is not satisfied, means the solution you find will not satisfy third, means we cannot say the linear combination of V1 and V2. So first one is a linear combinations, so we can solve it. So how first one is linear combination? So alpha, what is V1? V1 is 1, 2, 3. Beta V2 is 0, minus 1, 2. Just I will simplify it. Minus 1, minus 4, 1. This is alpha plus 0 beta. Second coordinate 2 alpha minus beta. And third coordinate 3 alpha plus 2 beta. So these two vectors are equal if and only corresponding coefficient match, means alpha is minus 1. 2 alpha minus beta is minus 4. 2 alpha minus beta is minus 4. And last, 3 alpha plus 2 beta is 1. So alpha equal to minus 1 implies 2 into minus 1. What is beta implies 2 into minus 1, minus 2. Minus 2. Minus 2 goes that side, beta becomes 2. Now see whether this satisfies 3 into minus 1, 2 into minus 4. It should not equal to 1. So this alpha beta, whatever you find, it doesn't satisfy certain. So not all coordinates, these two vectors are not equal. Not equal means we are not able to find alpha and beta satisfying this. So in this way, I think first one is there. First one we can solve it. Just I have to check it. Alpha value is minus 1 and beta value is 2. It is 1, I think. This is 1. So whatever you calculated alpha beta, it satisfies third coordinate. But in the second example, it doesn't hold. Second example, it doesn't hold. Just see here 4, 7, 15. Suppose 4, 7, 15. What point we have written there? The point we have written that alpha plus 0 beta, 2 earlier I am taking 2 alpha minus beta, and third is 3 alpha plus 2 beta. So alpha equal to 4 implies 2 alpha minus beta equal to 7. Not this implies what is value of beta? The value of beta is 7 minus alpha is 4, I think. Alpha is 4 means 4 into 2, 8. 7 minus 8. That is minus 1. So this is 7 minus 8, minus 1. So this alpha equal to 4, beta equal to minus 1 in 3 alpha plus 2 beta gives 3 alpha, 3 into 4 plus 2 into minus 1. So this calculation 3 into 4, 12, 12 minus 2, that is 10, which is not equal to 15. So whatever alpha beta you find, it will not satisfy. Any two equation you solve and show that it doesn't satisfy third. So this is not, we are not able to find alpha beta in this case. I can explain using linear system also. This system is inconsistent, means rank of augmented matrix will not equal to rank of coefficient matrix. Such type problems you have discussed in your PSC first year class. You can go further for that. So this is about this example. We'll move for next slide. Okay, this was also they explained in the last lecture. What was it? This is V1 and V2. Every vector in R2 is linear combination of V1 and V2. So what we want to show that, suppose S is this, then show that L of S is R2. So firstly, L of S is obviously subset of R2 because L of S is just a linear combination of vectors from two vectors from R2. So it has to be subset of R2. As V1, V2 belongs to R2, alpha times V1 plus beta times V2 has to belongs to R2. So this is the reason. And secondly, you need to show that R2 is subset of L of S. How one can show? So for any vector in R2, for any vector xy in R2, we have just now verified it. For any vector xy in R2, any. For any means it is true for all. For any xy in R2, we have xy is equal to x into V1 plus y into V2. We can put value of V1 and V2. So which is linear combination of V1 V2 means belongs to L of S. So R2 is subset of L of S. Implies the linear span of S is nothing but R2. That means every vector in R2 is a linear combination of V1 and V2. So this is obvious. We'll go further. So this will be homework to you, or this example also solved in the last lecture. Now this linear span we have discussed in the last previous slide. What is the meaning of span of S or just linear span of S? It is just all linear combinations of vectors in S. All linear combination of vectors in S. That is nothing but the span of S. One should make some important remark regarding this. So what are that remark? We say that L of S is spanned by the set S. L of S, whenever you write L of S, one can also say sometimes that the L of S is spanned by set S. And lastly, the L of empty set is 0. L of empty set means there no element in the set, means no linear combinations, means it is always 0. So like that, these two rows are there. Do the vectors 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 0 span R3? Do this vector span R3? Suppose I will take example as 1, 2, 5. Its answer is no, because to span R3 you must have minimum 3 vectors. To span R3 we must have minimum 3 vectors. So I will just take example. whether 1 to 5 is written or not. Instead of 1 to 5, okay. Instead of 5, I will take multiple of 3. 5 multiple of 3 will come to me. 1 to 6 I will take. This is just trial error you need to find. And just you need to check that whether it is a combination of these two vectors. I am saying its answer is no. So this implies 1 to 6 is equal to alpha plus beta 2 alpha plus 2 beta and 3 alpha. So what I do, these two are the linear combination of each other. So I should take different term here, not a twice of it. I should take odd term here. So I will change this vector. I will change this vector. I'll just take it as 5. Okay. Now we'll see. Alpha plus beta is 1. 2 alpha plus 2 beta is 5. And 3 alpha is 6. 3 alpha equal to 6 implies alpha is 2. Alpha equal to 2 implies beta is minus 1. And when you put value of alpha and beta here, it becomes 2, which is not equal to 5. Whatever alpha beta you find by solving any two equations will not satisfy third equation. So 1, 5, 6 does not belong to the span of 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 0. But 1, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1, 5, 6 belongs to R3. 1, 5, 6 belongs to R3, but it doesn't belong to span of this. So that means every vector in R3 is not span of these two vectors. Every vector R3 is not span of these two vectors. So nextly, we have to discuss this result. This S is a set of vectors, and we want to show that L of S is a subspace of V, and later it is the smallest subspace of V containing S. So in this class, we will discuss that how L of S is subspace of V. In the next lecture, we will discuss how L of S is the smallest subspace of V containing S. So I will prove here. So what is S? S is V1, V2, we are set of R vectors, subset of vector space V, and field NA. F is any field. By the definition, you should write what is L of S. L of S is all the linear combinations K1, V1 plus K2, V2 plus and so on. Here I am not putting any bar on the vectors. As a convention, the first should be the scalar and second should be the vectors, and all are coefficients are from field F. So your claim is L of S is subspace of V, and there it is smallest subspace of V containing S. L of S is subspace of V. So how you should prove subspace? You have to prove three things. That is, your target is L of S is non-empty subset first, and to show non-empty, you must show that 0 belongs to them. L of S is non-empty subset. Once it is empty, we cannot have an element in that, and we cannot say that any two element is come. So L of S is non-empty subset of V, that you should verify. Secondly, L of S is closed under addition, and L of S is closed under scalar multiplication. So these three things, once you check, then one can easily say that this is a subset of V. So to show non-emptiness, you must say, so let 0 bar in V, vector space V, denotes a zero vector of V, denotes zero vector of V. Then one should observe that this 0 bar, you take all scalar as 0. So this is 0 scalar multiplied to vector V1 plus 0 scalar multiplied to vector V2, and so on. All the scalars 0 you take, you will get 0 vector. So what it implies, 0 is linear combination of, because it is not mentioned that either scalars are 0 or non-zero. Scalars can be anything. So all scalars we have taken. So what it implies, 0 bar belongs to, 0 bar is also linear combination of set of vectors in S. So 0 is written as linear combination of set of vectors in S. So implies L of S is non-empty. Non-empty subset of E. Once it is non-empty, you can have any two elements. So it is non-empty, you can have any two elements to show addition clause and scalar multiplication clause. Any two elements in L of S, not V. Any two element in L of S means U and V are also written as linear combination of vectors in S, and any scalar. So U belongs to L of S. What it implies? U belongs to L of S implies that there exists scalar alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha R such that there exists scalars alpha 1 such that alpha 1 V1, this U is written as alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2, and so on, alpha R VR. Similarly, V belongs to L of S. What it implies? There also exist scalars. Beta 1, beta 2, and beta R. These are scalars such that V is written as a linear combination of vectors in S. What are the vectors in S? So beta 1 V1 plus beta 2 V2, and so on, beta R VR. So U and V belongs to L of S. That meaning we have written. Now we want to show that U plus V belongs to there. Now we want to show that U plus V belongs to there. So I will erase this first. You want to show that addition is closed, and later we want to show that the scalar multiplication is also closed. So what is U plus V? I will write here. U plus V is, the first U is alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2 plus, and so on, alpha R VR. And what is V? Beta 1 V1 plus beta 2 V2, and so on, beta R VR. This is V, beta R VR. So by summing up with the same coefficients, so this, since in vector addition is commutative, and you can distribute vector addition as well as scalar addition when you multiply scalar multiply, when as per the scalar multiplication is concerned. So these two terms can be combined, alpha 1 V1 plus beta 1 V1. V1 you combine, alpha 2 V2 plus beta 2 V2, and the last term alpha R VR plus beta R VR. As the exams of vector space definitions, you can write this as alpha 1 plus beta 1 V1, alpha 2 plus beta 2 V2. Alpha I, beta I are the scalars, and addition of scalar is again scalar. You can call it as k1 dash, k2 dash, kr dash also. Alpha R, beta R, pr. So for simplicity, one may call it as k1 dash, another coefficients k2 dash, and so on, kr dash, pr. So where it belongs to? This is u plus v. This is u plus v. Where it belongs to? It is just u plus v. You are shown. It is linear combination of v1, v2. What this ki dash is alpha I plus beta I. Since alpha beta I is scalar, scalar means field element, and in field the addition is closed. So the new scalar alpha I plus beta I denoted by ki dash, it is belongs to f. So in this way the vector addition is closed. Now lastly we want to show that the scalar multiplication is closed. So this is last part. Alpha multiplied by u. Now you have taken alpha as scalar, and the same notations will be there. So instead of alpha, you should use another notation. So don't say alpha. Suppose k is a scalar and k into u. So what is that k? What is u? I explained. You have expressed u as linear combination of v1, v2, vr, as u belongs to L of S. So it is alpha 1 v1 plus alpha 2 v2 and so on, alpha r vr. So again you apply the axioms of vector space definition and write this. The vector addition is distributed by scalar multiplication. It was for 2 terms. Here we are doing it for r number of terms. Okay, and then the axioms in the definition of vector space, 2 scalars can be combined. It just looks like law of associative. But for the associative law, all 3 elements must be from same set. Here alpha I and k are the scalars. So you just combine the scalars k into alpha 1. Looks like law of associative, but don't say associative law. This is also definition in the axioms. And you can call it as alpha 1 dash v1 plus alpha 2 dash v2 and so on, alpha r dash pr, where alpha I dash is k into alpha I. K is scalar, alpha is scalar. So as a scalar means field, multiplication is closed in the field of. So in this way, ku is a linear combination of vectors in set S. That is ku belongs to L of S. So with this was third condition. Second condition is, you can mark second condition as this: u plus v belongs to L of S, and first condition as is non-empty. So with these 3 conditions, one can say L of S is a subspace. L of S is a subspace of V. And in the next lecture, we'll be discussing how this L of S is a smallest subspace of V containing S. It's the smallest subspace. It's the smallest subspace which contains set S. Means this is there is no subset of L of S which is consist of the say element in set S. This is the smallest subspace of V containing the vectors in set S. So that part we'll discuss in the tomorrow's class. So at here we will stop. Thank you.